guys, welcome to the DMX Show. I'm your host Shane, and today I've got an awesome ROM review for you for the Transformer Prime. This is the AOKP ROM. This is build 34 or 1.4.1 by Germain. This ROM is totally stable. It's very fast. It automatically comes stock with a 1600 megahertz overclocked kernel. So without further ado, let's jump into this ROM review. Of course, after the ROM review, we'll have a quick install tutorial. Okay, so as you can see here, this has options for quad lock screen, octo lock screen. The main awesome thing about this ROM is not only is it very stable, and not only is it extremely fast, even faster than stock, and it's de-bloated, and let's see, you see all the Asus junk is taken out of there. This is pure AOSP for the Transformer Prime, but it adds all sorts of customization features. So we'll get into some of that customization features right now. We'll just go into settings, and when I say it's de-bloated, I mean it is totally de-bloated. So that's all your apps there, and I've even installed a few of those like Quadrant and Twitter. By the way, I ran the Quadrant on here, and it's getting over 4,500 on the Quadrant score, so that's pretty awesome. Of course, like I said, it comes stock overclocked at 1600 megahertz, gigahertz, whatever. Anyhow, let's go into settings and ROM control. I'll show you in performance what I'm talking about here. If you go to max CPU, it is overclocked at 1600 megahertz out of the box. So if you want to save some power, obviously you can underclock it all the way down to 102 megahertz. I would not recommend that, as it would get very unstable. It is incredibly stable at 1600 megahertz. You're not going to have any trouble with it freezing or locking up or anything like that. Of course, if you go back to performance, you can set your minimum CPU as well. You can set a governor. I like the interactive. You could also set it for performance, where it would just really kill your battery life, but it would, I guess if you're playing some sort of game that takes up a lot of CPU, the performance would be great. You also have power save there. If you just really wanted to save some power, it would govern it down to save power. Same thing with conservative and on-demand. Those would be power-saving governors there. You also have the startup tweaks here for those of you that want to play around with that. It does pop up a warning that it needs super user access, so this is for those that really want to play around and do their own settings. We'll get back to the ROM control. If you go to General UI, you have a few options here. You can disable the boot animation. I'll show you guys that on the way out. You can allow this 180-degree rotation, but that is, that's by default here on the Transformer Prime, so you really don't have to enable that. I did find that if I did enable that, I could not drag any applications around on my home screen or widgets on my home screen, so I would suggest just staying away from that for now. You can enable your volume options or your custom carrier label, which I don't know where that would even show up, because I don't think it was on the lock screen. If we go back to the lock screen, yeah, it's not even there, so I don't really know what that's there for. You can do the hold back to kill, so when you hold this back button, it will kill whatever you're doing. The rotation delay is there as well. Navigation bar, this is my favorite part here. Of course, this here is your navigation bar. You can go to the quantity and change that all the way to 5, which is what I've done. And then you can change what the function of the buttons are. So this was your recent apps. I never use the recent apps button. So I changed that to YouTube. You just go to custom app, applications, and you can change that on the fly there. We'll go and change this third one just so you guys see how it works. Go to applications, and I'll change that to my Twitter. And there you have it. Pretty easy, pretty simple. You can set your transparency here, make them super bright or less bright. You can change the navigation bar width and height. In fact, we'll go ahead and change the height here to make it a little smaller, just to get it out of the way. Gives us a little more screen real estate. So as small as we can make it is how I like it. Go to the lock screen options. You have several styles. So we'll go to lock screen style. I told you that you have the quad screen and octo. Of course, you have AOSP and honeycomb there as well. And if you go down to the bottom here, you can enable fast torch, from the lock screen, as well as a few other things. Here you can set your custom applications, so you can set unlock, and we'll go with camera. Whoops. And we'll go with a custom app here, and we'll go with our Gmail application, and one more app, custom application. Let's go with Gtalk. So now whenever I turn this off and turn it back on my lock screen, I'll have those applications there, or I could just go straight to unlock. So that's a pretty cool feature, in my opinion. And if we go on to the power menu options, this is if you hold your power button, this is your power menu. So I've selected to include screenshot and the torch flashlight. So both of those are there. You can also do your navigation bar. You can do that as well. You have some weather options. So if you enable the weather, that's going to give you a weather widget on your lock screen, and also in your little in your notification bar there. Notification icon transparency, you can set that here. If you go to your toggles, whenever you pull up your notification bar here, you see the toggles here. We can change those. We can change those. We can enable them or disable them here. And so these are the ones that I have enabled. So there's plenty to choose from here. All of these, well, except for the airplane mode there. I guess if you're on the airplane, they don't want you receiving Wi-Fi, so you can do that. There's vibrate, silent, torch, sync, and the swagger toggle, of course, is there. You can do the toggle style, either icon only or text only, and then you can choose to have the alternate toggles, which I like better because it's just kind of a sleek look there. I like that a whole lot. And then, of course, you can reset those back to stock. On the clock options, you have a few styles here. You can do either right clock or no clock at all. You can change the color. Battery icon, if you go to style, you can set a text only, or like your icon with text, and you see it changes down there in the corner. And I'll go back to text because I can't really read that one very well. You can change the, you can do a battery bar here, battery bar style, so you can go with a battery bar if you wanted. You can change the color of the battery bar if you have that set, which I don't. You can change your signal with the Wi-Fi signal, so you can go text style and show text. So now, if you see that there, it's text only, which I'm going to go back to the bars. I prefer that. So guys, that's pretty much, I guess we'll show you how the color changer works. And I guess it doesn't work because it's not changing it for me. Maybe if we go set. Nope. Okay, so the color picker is not working. So really the only drawbacks that I saw here is if you enabled the 180-degree rotation, you could not drag and drop any of your applications or widgets on the home screen. Of course, the color picker, I can't get that to work for some reason. Maybe I'm just an idiot. You guys can leave a comment below if you guys have figured that out on AOKP. For the most part, though, this ROM is incredibly fast. It's very stable, and I don't think you'll have any qualms with this ROM. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the install guide. You want to head over to the link in the description and download the 3 files that are there. And I'll just go ahead and reboot into recovery from here. But the way that you get to recovery is you hold volume down and power at the same time until you get your, of course, your little text there. And then you'll hit volume up within 5 seconds, and that'll boot you into Clockwork Mod recovery. So grab those 3 files. You'll have the main ROM file, plus you'll have a patch file, and then you'll have your GApps. And you want to install those, well, let's see. It didn't take me to recovery, so I guess that's another issue there with the ROM. The reboot options are not working properly, so it's just going to reboot me altogether. So as soon as it does that, we'll reboot into recovery. So let's go ahead and hold volume down plus the power. Okay, we'll just keep holding that until we see our text in the top left-hand corner. As soon as we see that, we got 5 seconds to hit the volume up button, and now it's going to boot into Clockwork Mod recovery. So AOKP is a great ROM. I am very excited for Gummy. Adam the Cashew said that, let's see, wipe data factory reset. You go to yes. Adam the Cashew said that his goal with Gummy for the Transformer Prime is to make it a full tablet experience. So I think Jermaine's done a pretty good job on making this a tablet experience. Let's see, we'll get this a little closer so you can see it. But Adam said he's got some things up his sleeves to make it even better. So we'll go ahead and wipe cache. As soon as that ROM comes out, Gummy, I will definitely be doing a ROM review. You're going to select yes to wipe cache. We'll go back since I already have it installed. And then you go down to advanced. Wipe Dalvik cache, select that. And then go down to yes, wipe Dalvik cache. And you would select that with the power button. I'm going to go back. And we'll go back again. Install zip from SD card. Choose zip from SD card. You go to your download folder. If you've downloaded this directly to your tablet, that's where it'll be. You're looking for AOKP, TFP, Build 34, version 1.4.1. Now you may be on a later version, so just go ahead and select that, and then you'll go to yes, install. And I'm going to go back. That should take about 5 minutes or less. We'll go to choose it from SD card, download. Now if you're on a later build, you may not have to flash this. You may not have to flash the fix. So we'll go ahead and do this fix. If you're on 1.4.1, you will need to flash this patch. So go ahead and flash that, and then we'll go back. Choose it from SD card, download. And G-Apps. Now I selected the 3/17/2012 because it included Gmail. There is a newer version of the G-Apps which you could select and install those instead. If you did that, you'll have to go in there and get your Gmail and a few other apps on your own. So let's go ahead and select that. Go to yes, install the G-Apps, and when that's finished, you will reboot.